Hmm. You muted on your side?
Okay.
There you are.
Can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay.
Okay, so how are we going to do this since you have to advance my slides?
I don't think I have to. I think we figured it out.
Oh, great. Okay.
Let's see if this really works. Make host. I can see how to make you a host.
Oh, good. Okay.
So I am doing that. You want to change the host to Deborah?
So
It's
how
you.
do I upload my present? Oh, share my screen.
There you go.
Okay. Let's go over to, this is the screen. How do I do this? I guess like so. Do you see my screen?
I do not.
You don't.
Mm-mm. So the share screen or Alt S, you see that share screen button down there?
Wait, let me go back. Okay. Yeah, share screen.
Is it green?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Host
Who
disabled,
can
participant.
share? Only the host can share. Okay.
So that should be you.
All right. So how do I share the screen? Let's see. Let's pull up my presentation.
Yeah, it's weird. I'm not seeing your screen if you're doing the screen sharing.
What do you see right now, Bill?
I see you and me.
Oh, you still see me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Let me go to speaker view. Yep,
Let's see.
still gallery view, speaker view. Still see you.
What about now? Do you still see me, or do you see my
I
presentation?
see you.
Okay.
What if you do Alt Tab and kind of flip through the tabs? What does that do?
Let's see. Okay. Which one do I want it to be? I think
Just pick
this
one. Let's see
one.
if we can see your screen.
Okay. You see it now?
No.
No?
No. Okay.
Let's see. Let's try this one. Okay. You see it now?
No, nothing's changing. I'm just looking at you.
And that's Alt Tab. I don't know.
Okay. Do you want to put it back to screen sharing to where I can share the screen? And have you emailed you haven't emailed your presentation to me, have you?
No,
You want to send it to me real quick and we will wing this?
Okay. I'll do that. Let's see. Where is my, let's see. So should I send it to the Jessica or directly to you?
No, send it to me, please. Yes.
Okay. All right. And message. Okay.
Okay. And where you disabled screen sharing by anybody other than the host earlier, you probably, you know what? Let me see if I can make myself the host again. I can't. Rename pin video add
Okay.
Okay, so it has me that you've got my screen sharing disabled. So you need to re-enable other than the host. For the panelists or something?
I'm sorry, I was reading what this says. It says, please wait to send. Attachments are still loading. Oh, you can send your message after they're attached.
Gotcha.
Okay.
On the screen sharing, where you clicked before and you said just the host can share the screen?
Let's see. Let me go back. To us. Okay. Uh-huh.
Okay, so you need to switch it to where a participant can, or not participate, yeah, participant, a panelist, sorry. A panelist.
All panelists?
Mhm.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so if you do
Oh, wait a
that.
minute. Now it says who can start sharing when someone else is sharing. I'll just put all panelists for both. Okay.
Okay. Now, when I click on screen sharing, I get a screen that has screen, whiteboard, iPhone, and all of my other tabs. Do you not get that when you click on screen sharing?
Let's see. When I click on screen sharing, I have everything. Yeah, that's up right
Okay.
now. I've got I have
If you
us.
click on your PowerPoint there, what happens?
Click on my PowerPoint. Share computer and sound. Share.
Bingo.
Is that
You got
it? I had to click on the bottom.
Yep.
It said click. I said share computer and sound. And then I clicked that box
There
and
you
it
go.
came up. Okay.
You are all set. Go into presentation mode and you're good.
Go into, oh, okay.
In the PowerPoint, right? So you're in edit mode or something.
How do I get
Your slideshow.
Okay. I want to get rid of that. I want to put this into. Okay. Did I do it?
Yes. It's showing your slide numbers and stuff. It's fine. It's working. It's good.
Okay, so now I have to get my, my notes up. I want this. Okay. All right.
You're able to turn the pages. You're good.
We did it with no minutes to spare. It's 10 o'clock.
Okay. So I'm going to log off then. You've got my cell phone. Shout at me if you need me.
Okay.
Excellent. Thanks, Deborah.
All righty. Bye, Bill.
Bye.
So good morning, everybody. My name is Deborah Williams. I'm a presenter for this webinar with dealing with emotions in times of crisis and change. This is all based around, of course, the COVID-19 issues that we're dealing with. To start off, I'd like to say, please make sure to mute your cell phones or microphone, computers right now. And at the bottom of your screen, we're going to do an interactive and make sure that this is actually an interactive type chat. So if you have a question, just go to the bottom and click on your chat button option, okay? I want to just start by actually showing the disclosure that's here. And so I'm sorry. Okay. If you could just read through this with me. The webinar is intended to provide suggestions on how to turn difficult emotional times created by the COVID-19 crisis into an experience of change through positive growth, as well as ideas of how to take control in a positive manner. And that's the goal here, is just to move toward more positivity, okay? So I want to start by saying, in my family and I spent the end of 2019 in beautiful Montego Bay, Jamaica for the holidays. And many students were planning and looking forward to walking across the stage at graduation with their classmates this month. And most of us spent time hanging out with friends and family not so long ago. People who may not have felt sick, but who were unlucky hosts for this COVID-19 went about their business as usual. They went to restaurants to eat with their friends, met with family, and with their friends, they met with family and they met with friends to see their favorite band at concerts and took their children on outings. But as the situation progressed, we began to realize how easily the virus could be transmitted from person to person and just how lethal this silent predator really was. I have a group of friends who asked for pictures to be posted of the last outing that we attended pre-COVID-19. I only had to go back 2 weeks before the pandemic hit. To think about what picture, where was I? What was I doing? So I posted a picture of a polo tailgate party that I had gone to with friends just 2 weeks prior. There were about 25 to 30 of us in attendance there. And the very next day, about 15 of us gathered together at a restaurant to celebrate a surprise birthday party. But right now, seems like a lifetime ago. Sorry. Then one day in March, we woke up and our entire lives changed. Our work was disrupted, anxiety about our mortality and our loved ones' health suddenly threatened, our movements restricted, and our homes turned into offices, schools, cafes, and gyms. We all became fearful. Once travel restrictions were put in place, non-essential businesses began to shut down, schools moved classes to online, and public gatherings like sporting events and museums postponed or canceled events altogether. Well, what if you could turn all this adversity into something positive and emerge stronger, more agile, more resourceful, and build a more positive, better future for yourself and others? Well, there is some cause for optimism. Sudden changes like these, especially when the changes are not in your control, are felt and seen as negatives. People frequently experience anxiety, fear, confusion, and uncertainty when experiencing a major crisis. Human behavior during this crisis proved to be very different than what we may have experienced, like the sudden rush for toilet paper, paper towels, and stockpiling hand sanitizer and other items. This behavior has long been identified as the sheep or herd behavior, which is the phenomenon of when large numbers of people react the same way to the action of other people at the same time, most times without rationale. Now, the need for social distancing and awareness about what all this entails has increased dramatically since the beginning of this COVID-19 crisis. So let's talk about what happens when a crisis or a change of this caliber occurs that is not initiated by us and stresses our cognitive, physical, emotional, and behavioral emotions and learn ways that we can actually eliminate those stresses. Our cognitive reaction. Our cognitive reaction is all in our brain. Cognitive approaches explain emotions in ways that enable people to understand their experiences. An experience drives the memory. What I mean is, for example, when you see a person that you like, the cognitive emotion in your brain causes you to smile and be positive when you see them. But on the other hand, if you encounter someone where there was a negative environment with that person, you may want to avoid them or briefly speak and continue on your way. Have you ever met someone for the first time and within 10 minutes felt that you could become their friend for life? Or, on the other hand, met someone for the first time and in 10 minutes knew that you didn't need to ever see that person again in life? These are all cognitive emotions in your brain based on emotional environments. Cognitive researchers have focused on how emotions are caused when events or other people affect the environment and how emotions influence processes such as reasoning, memory, and attention. So, what to do? If you are normal, not as you are, I'm sorry, you are normal and having normal reactions. So don't label yourself as crazy. Let me say that again. You are normal and having normal reactions. So don't label yourself as crazy. Talk to people. Talking is the most healing medicine. Maintain as normal a schedule as possible. Make an intentional one-on-one call to express your negative feelings to someone you trust, sharing your feelings of fear and concern with. Don't share these feelings when you plan to unwind and connect with friends and family. Staying connected with friends and family just takes effort under current quarantine guidelines. But there are many creative ways to keep in touch with those you enjoy spending time with and love. Make sure that you recognize those around you are also under stress. So if you receive a one-on-one call from someone who is sharing their feelings of fear and distress, listen. It's also a good idea to make as many small daily decisions as possible in order to give yourself feelings of control over your life. Like, for instance, if someone just merely asks you, what do you want to eat? Think of something, even if you're not certain. Many people feel emotions in certain parts of their bodies, like stress in their neck, shoulders, and lower back, or anxiety in their stomach, and even heartbreak in their chest. Anger is known to be a heady top of the body emotion, while love and happiness is felt rather strongly all over. How is it that when we feel stress, our cognitive signals may be either fill ourselves with comfort foods, alcoholic drinks, or to even starve ourselves? You can experience any of those actions depending on the emotional signals your brain is inclined to deliver. Both of those emotions are an attempt to shift the negative emotion towards something that you feel that you can control. Exercise, whether it's a quick run or a relaxing walk, getting outside is a healthy way to escape stress. You don't need equipment. You just have to get up and go. Make sure to alternate relaxation with activities. If you go for a hike or a bike ride, come home and relax or take a nap. It's been suggested that just going outside and engaging in a low to moderate physical activity changes your body's chemistry and creates a better mood. Breathing fresh air can raise levels of oxygen in your brain, which in turn boosts the level of serotonin, a neurotransmitter that alters your mood. In addition, exercising outside, such as hiking, running, biking, and kayaking, increases the production of endorphins. And guess what? The cognitive process in our brain activates, only this time in a positive, healthy manner. So let's move on and talk a little about the emotional reaction. When something happens that is distressing, unexpected, or affects the people we are close to, most people will experience a reaction that can be disturbing and potentially overwhelming. When we feel that we can't control the outcome and our usual way of living is threatened or disrupted, it becomes particularly hard to adjust to a new normal. The current COVID-19 crisis insists that it is just as important to look after our emotional health and well-being as our physical, cognitive, and behavioral health. Do things that feel good to you. Emotion has a substantial influence on the cognitive process in humans, including perception, attention, learning, memory, reasoning, and problem solving. I've had some friends say to me, I just feel generally anxious all the time and I can't seem to focus. Oh, and I had another friend say, who actually works from home, that I don't know why, but I'm really struggling to get motivated. Even getting dressed is a challenge. Well, I've been to this friend's house and they work in their pajamas. Well, their feelings are still legitimate. You need to be motivated. So establish some type of routine. Maybe as soon as you get up, make your bed and then go do your hygiene and slip on some clothes. That makes you feel like you're in control of what you plan to do and what you're doing at that time. Okay, so how do we become comfortable with being uncomfortable? Well, let's explore some effective tools to help turn challenges into teachable moments for a better tomorrow. Here are some things that you can do to calm yourself. The first thing is to take breaks from watching, reading, or listening to news stories and social media. Hearing about negative issues repeatedly can subliminally be upsetting. So take time each day to clear your mind through meditation. During this crisis, our mental health is suffering. A company named Headspace is offering the tools and resources to look after your mind. Now more than ever, it's time to support those who really need it. If you are unemployed, you can get a free year of Headspace Plus to help you to get back on your feet. Check it out and tell a friend. So just Google Headspace for details. One thing I like to do is diffuse my favorite essential oil. I love frankincense and lang. Actually, it's diffusing right now during this webinar. So you can do it at any time while you listen to music, or take a bath, or read. Another thing is throughout the day, consciously take deep breaths. Surprising how just really taking a deep breath can calm you down. We breathe so shallowly throughout the day without recognizing or even being mindful that we're doing this. So take a deep breath. You don't have to do anything more than that. Just take a couple of deep breaths throughout the day. Some breathing exercises will help you clear the mental clutter in your mind. Gently stretch your body after a period of relaxation. Say you sat down and you watched the news. News is generally, an hour or so? So after you've watched the news or your favorite program, get up and give yourself a gentle stretch. Take a long, relaxing bath. It's one of my favorite things to do. Find a new healthy recipe to eat healthy. Well-balanced meals. There are tons of things out there. You can actually just Google anything that you have in your pantry, some ingredients right now. Just Google those particular ingredients and a recipe will come up. So you have plenty of choices there. And above all other things, make sure you get plenty of rest and sleep. I just started doing this. I set my alarm to go to bed 30 minutes earlier than I usually do. And then I wake up 30 minutes earlier. So I'm the first person up so I can enjoy that cup of coffee in quiet time and possibly meditate during that time before anybody else gets up. There's another reaction that we have to deal with in these times, which is our behavioral reaction to things. Our behavior has been forced to change with wearing face masks when we go out, using hand sanitizer throughout the day, and being extra vigilant about hand washing. The new term social distancing is heard daily. We are no longer engaging in the routine handshake or giving hugs to others. These new behavior changes are being adapted as our new normal. But is it really? Now that the stay-at-home quarantine has been lifted in some phases in most states, only time will tell if we stick to these claims of a new normal behavior. Perhaps Reports of a steady decline of COVID-19 will usher the return of how most people are comfortable behaving going forward. This is a situation that can have both positive and negative effects as a function of it being a collective crisis. On the positive side, there's a sense that we're all in it together, and we see many amazing examples of people supporting one another. But on the negative side, we see people respond to this with a sense that they need to protect their own. And it is us versus them. Well, the example, stockpiling, once again. Many people are feeling both impulses at the same time. They're obviously going to feel fear because of the uncertainty, the present threat, and the potential threat of a second wave of infections. And the social cues around people right now are going to raise their perception that we're in danger. Then there's the talk of the long-term impact to the economy too. And you have a real recipe for people to be anxious and frightened. This is not the time to make any big life changes. Okay, I want to definitely make that understood. But what we can do is we can focus on things that you can control by feeling accomplishment, maybe with organizing things. Go through your closets and start a donation box, putting clothes, shoes, and accessories inside the box that you haven't worn in a while. Organize your drawers, your garage, and finish projects that you didn't have time to finish while you were traveling to work every day. The feeling of accomplishment by scratching off items on your to-do list and by helping others with donations can generate positive feelings and make you feel back in control of your life. Many people who volunteer to help others during the pandemic will experience renewed purpose and meaning in their lives. Those who adjusted to self-isolation, that is, people who are open to experiencing new things, are optimistic and emotionally stable. That doesn't mean other people are not, but if you embrace this particular time to do something new and have a new experience, then you are more likely to fare well during and after this crisis. Not everyone possesses these characteristics, but people can improve their resilience by learning new coping strategies. So, how do we help family members and friends? One way is to listen carefully. Okay? Don't feel the need to constantly give advice. Just listen. Spend time with the traumatized person. Well, now that we have to keep that social distancing, spend time with that one-on-one phone call. Make it to them and just listen. Allow them to talk about how they feel and what their concerns are. Offer your assistance and a listening ear, even if they haven't asked for help. Reassure them that they are safe. Don't take their anger or other feelings personally. Say if they want to vent about something, don't take it personally. Don't tell them that lucky it wasn't worse. Traumatized people are not consoled by those types of statements. Instead, tell them that you're sorry for such an event, that such an event has occurred, and you want to understand and help them. COVID-19 is the first of our generation of a pandemic type of virus that has gone across, so people don't know how to react. We are truly at some level, on some levels, all in this together. But contrary to popular belief, most people are quite resilient and seldom respond totally irrational during crisis. So, what else is there that you can do yourself to calm yourself in the midst of this crisis? Well, try doing some of the activities that you enjoy. Video connect with friends and family. I've attended a number of Zoom birthday parties. A group of friends and I, we do a text roll call to check in with everybody, to see how they're doing. We just have a group of friends we put on our phone, and the title is roll call. And we all say how we're doing, how we're feeling, what we've been doing. You could do this with neighbors, which is really good. Find out what your neighbor's number is and your coworkers. Just do a roll call. It's a checkup of just tell me how you're doing. Another thing you can do just to enjoy yourself is read a book you've always wanted to read. Take this time. There are lots of different types of mediums to use. I listen to Chirp, CHIRP, and of course Audible. So I enjoy listening to books because I'm always multitasking. So you can sit down and just enjoy reading a book as well. Hardcover books are still there. Have you ever heard of a driveway party? If you live in a community where your neighbors can talk across the driveway to one another, host a driveway party. I have a friend whose community did this who lives in the Gulf. And she said at a certain time, everybody went out in their driveways and just talked across the lawns. Sounds fun to me. My community is not conducive to that. We're too far apart from one another. But maybe we can yell. I don't know. Another thing you can do is do a crossword puzzle. I did a jigsaw puzzle that was so difficult. Salvador Dali, Still Life and Movement. It drove me crazy. So it was supposed to be, I think, relaxing, but it stimulated my mind. And once I completed it, I felt this huge sense of accomplishment that stayed with me for about a week because I kept the puzzle together as well. Didn't want to take it apart and return it to my neighbor who I had borrowed it from. But it took up a lot of time. I wasn't thinking about what's going on. I wasn't listening to the news. I was focusing on defeating that puzzle. And I had success. And that made me feel empowered. Okay. There are other things that you can do. There are tons of things that we'll actually go through. But in an already tenuous and stressful situation, these restrictions on public gatherings and travel left the need for individuals to replace their usual entertainment activities, okay, with safer virtual ones like these. So luckily, many businesses and institutions recognize this need across the board and right away made various entertainment and wellness resources available online. From a game night to traveling virtually, tons of things that can be done. Lots of fun ways to stay connected. So, have you ever done Scrabble virtually? We tried it, but it diverted, into something different, just to visit. So, but there are tons of things that you can do. How about cooking online? I have a friend who does that with her granddaughters. So they're cooking virtually together. And I think she says it's Baking with BB, and they do it every Thursday. So I think that's really great. You can get recipes from Bon Appetit. And like I said, just Google any kind of recipe that you want to cook, and then get on Zoom, Facebook, any type of media platform that you can Skype in video and share it with others. I haven't participated in the cocktail hour yet. I'm interested in that, but I just heard somebody mention to me about inviting me to a virtual cocktail hour. So that should be interesting. There are tons of things. Just take a look on this slide, the online scrapbooking, okay? Drive-by car parade. That should be huge coming up now with the graduations that didn't happen, that you can just drive by in front of the graduate's house and honk your horn and shout congratulations and have balloons and signs and different things. TikTok, that's really become a very popular platform. Kind of watch that every day. A lot of dances. It's a short video that you can take of yourself of just doing different things. I actually have just watched a classic movie with my husband that he hadn't seen before. So we did that. There are tons and tons of things. One really cool thing I want to mention that we did in our community was during this time, they usually have a classic car show at our park, but they had to alter it. So they did a classic driveway car show. Everybody drove around in their golf carts or their automobiles just all around the community looking at these beautifully restored classic cars. It was so much fun, so much fun. So just be creative with it and do things. How about, let's see. Oh, of course, the Zoom birthday parties. Yeah, we're singing happy birthday almost every week with our friends and family. So, question, let me ask you, what have you done lately that's been fun? What are some of the things that you've done? I was talking to my neighbor yesterday, and I told him, I feel like I have behaved in phases. What I did was, in phase one, I initially went to work completing all the things on my to-do list because I had a sense of urgency of being off from work and at home. So I just knocked off that list, one task after another. And once that was completed, I thought, I haven't really been exercising because I'm an avid exerciser. I play golf, I play tennis, I ride my bike, I walk my dog. But I needed to do all these things. So fortunately, my ladies' golf group, they gave individual sanitized golf carts to us. And so I could continue golfing with my ladies' league. I could ride my bike in my community. I played tennis with my husband because the county commissioner had put a junction where only two people could be on the court at one time. So it worked out for me. So I made a weekly calendar for me to exercise, to make sure to get back into it and make sure I got the exercise that I needed. In the phase 3, I really started missing my family and friends. So I started participating in all these birthday parties and the roll call check-ins, and we did a bunch of drive-bys, and we just did a lot of things. So I kind of felt connected. I reach out with the Zoom and video with my grand twins. There's a boy and a girl. They're 16 years old, so they check up on them, how they were doing online school assignments, and just see how they are. And then my adult kids. So we just check in with one another, and we want to see one another and talk to one another. So I went through that phase, and after a while, I got tired of doing that. And then I just decided that I was finally going to begin some of the things that I wanted to learn. I had this bucket list. So right now I'm teaching myself how to play my keyboard that I've had for about 5 years and never learned how to play. So I'm on YouTube and I'm learning how to do that. I've also taken a step up on Duolingo and practicing my conversational Spanish. I can say habla español un poquito, very, muy poquito, very little Spanish, but I want to develop that. So those are the phases that I'm in right now. I have my Mediterranean cookbook out on my counter to try some of the recipes that I had experienced when I was in Greece a couple of years ago. So just different things. I'm opening up and expanding my horizons, so to speak. So it's been an interesting time, and I'm feeling very empowered and in control of my life right now. So if you'd like, I'd love to hear, what are you doing now during this COVID-19 period? Just click on the chat button and give me some ideas, something I haven't mentioned, some things that you may be doing. Okay, so I see one person has there that they have actually, I just saw something like this with celebrities doing that, cutting and changing their hair. So they come up with a new hairstyle, a new look for them. So they'll emerge from this stay at home looking differently. Great, great. Well, I hope you like it. I have a girlfriend who lives in Venice, Florida, and her husband's a barber. And she had him cut most of her hair off. It's really long, cut it very short, cropped it. And then she was naturally gray, and then she dyed it some kind of light brown. So she has a totally different look as well. But I understand that. That makes you feel in control of your life. That makes you feel more vibrant, like empowered. These are good things. And I appreciate you attending today. I hope some of this helps you moving forward and take some of the suggestions and utilize them in your life to make it better once the next phase takes place. And then we'll look back on this and we'll become better, more empowered, and more enlightened people. Thank you.